How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI. You guys already know how bullish I am on this stock. It has been a little bit since we last spoke about it, and considering the market conditions that we're in, and if there is a pullback, I want you guys to keep it on your radar. So before we get started, of course, I got to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We've seen a lot of volatility, and many are asking me, hey, I'm thinking about adding to my position. Many are saying, well, you know what, is it the best time to average down? Well, you know what, you could see what's going on inside of the technicals. And then secondly, we're going to be taking a look at the short interest information. We want to know, what is the market sentiment? Are there a lot of short sellers in SOFI? This is key to know because it will have an impact in regards to how the stock performs. And then third, we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know, are institutions loading up as of late? I feel this is very key because wherever the big money's going, we need to be going in that similar direction. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts. So let's jump to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing today at $15.30, being down 4.32%. On the low, it tested $15.22, and then on the high, testing $16.19. When we take a look at the volume stats on Friday, we traded at 14.215 million, and as far as for the average volume over the past 10 trading days was at 17.979 million. So we did have below average volume, and it's part of the reasons why we ended up seeing some pressure on the stock price. For your information, the chart that we're using is actually the 6-month 2-hour chart. So you can see that we're definitely been on a downtrend. So can this downtrend continue going into Monday and as far as for the rest of the week? Most definitely. So this is why I'm saying look out for SOFI in the $14 range. You can see that we seem to have some support here right around this $14.75 level, or 14.70s, however you want to call it. If it does decide to pull back even further, of course, I'd like to see some strength at this $14 level. They do have earnings coming out on August the 12th, so do keep this in mind. I have high conviction when it does come to SOFI. So as far as adding to my position, I'll be looking to add when it's in the 14 range, and if it goes into the 13s, I'll add even a little bit more. But I am confident about that earnings report. I think it should be solid. But for the most part, these are some areas that I want you guys to look out for if it does decide to pull back. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, one thing that we do need to understand, as we actually have more downward pressure in the stock, certain areas coming back up become psychological areas. So taking in the $16 level, this is an area that I want to see come back being reclaimed in order for things to start looking bullish again. And upon hitting 16, we'll be getting to around the 1641, and I'll be looking forward to seeing a strong move going all the way to 17. And then also a continuation of this movement. But do understand, this will take some patience here. That's what I'm saying. Don't be surprised if it pulls back. If you believe in this play, add to your position. Growth stocks, you really do not want to be going in heavy on your first entry. You want to add whenever you get those dips, because you know what? It's inevitable with these kind of plays. So we're on Fintel. We're going to take a look at the short interest information for SOFI. So you can see here the short volume ratio is at 30.08%. As we scroll down on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 7 minutes ago. And as far as for the short ball free rate, it is at 0.73. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see on the 15th, it was at 30.08. And then on the 16th close, which was Friday, it is now at 33.06. So what does this mean? As far as short sellers are concerned, they are heavily vested in SOFI. And it's part of the reasons why it's definitely a good idea to look out for pullbacks if you're considering to add to your position. Because if we continue to have volatile markets, then of course we can end up seeing the stock price going through even more volatility. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So you can see on the inflow we have 53 and on the outflow we have 51. Keep in mind this is in the millions. So we can see here we have 3 on the large, 29 on the medium, and 20 on the small. As far as for the outflow side, we have 0 on the large, 31 on the medium, and small being 19. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, we have 3 inflow days and 2 outflow days over 5. And then for the last 2, which was July the 15th and July the 16th, we had big time inflow days. On the 15th, it was 1,456.53. And as far as on July the 16th, was 3,077.85. And we also had an inflow day on July the 13th with 673.78. So institutions have definitely been loading up on SOFI stock. And this is actually great to hear, especially for retail investors. I always want to make sure you guys focus on buying stocks when they are correcting or when they are pulling back. So at least when you have that run up, then you can decide whether A, you want to keep the stock or you want to do a swing trade. It all depends on, after you do your homework and your due diligence and so forth, what your strategy is going to be. But one thing that is good, we see a lot of big money going into SOFI. So for my final thoughts for SOFI, I'm definitely going to be looking forward to add to my position sometime this week, but I am going to be looking to add when it is below $15. I like SOFI when it's in the $14 range. One thing to also understand, what we saw on Fintel, we could see that the short volume ratio is at 33%. So of course this play does come with a lot of short squeeze potential. If we end up having a lot of buying pressure coming through this stock and a lot of volume, we can easily see some strong moves and overall price action. And seeing institutions have been loading up as well, especially since the stock has been pulling back, definitely does give a lot of confidence for retail investors who are considering to take a position. But I highly suggest, before taking any position whatsoever, that you do your homework and as well as your due diligence. I also want to get you guys in the habit, when it comes to growth stocks, these are the best times to buy. While it is pulling back, while it is correcting, you want to get out of the habit of buying stocks during a bull run. Many people are buying on the highs, and there's also more people who are trading and wanting to be involved in the stock market when things are just going up. But at the same time, you make a lot more money taking advantage of conditions, especially if they are looking bearish. And I want to make sure you guys understand that. So that's part of the reasons why I'm going to be adding for my long-term position in SOFI, especially when it's below 15. I want to be clear about that. That's my strategy. I'm down to hold this stock for 2 to 3 years. So that's why, if you are going to be getting in this play and there's short-term volatility and you're not reaching the strategy that you had planned out for yourself, I just want to make sure that you're protecting yourself. You're doing your homework. You know what's going to be coming ahead. And just seeing that short interest, hey, I'm actually excited about it because I want to see it pull back even further. And the reason being is, I feel this stock has a ton of potential. So while the market wants to ignore it, and while it's cheap, that gives me a chance to take advantage of it because I already know what the possibilities really does look like for SOFI. So let it pull back all it wants, because that's just a luxury for me. I'm going to keep saying that. I have high conviction for this play. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.